Dear children, here we will discuss the chapter Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants, in which we will discuss pistil and the megasporangium. Before this, we have already discussed about the flower, which is the reproductive organ of plant, and the stamen, which is the male reproductive part, the structure of anther, which is or in which the pollen grains are produced, the male gametophyte or the pollen grain are produced, right? And the process of microsporogenesis and the structure and formation of pollen grain, right? So here we will discuss about the pistil. What is pistil? That is the individual member of gynoecium, which is the female reproductive part, and megasporangium, that is the ovule, inside which the female gamete, that is the egg, is present. Clear? Let us discuss in detail. So here you see the female reproductive part. Which is the female reproductive part? We know gynoecium is the female reproductive part. So here you see, this is the longitudinal section of a flower, which having calyx, corolla, already we have discussed. These are the stamens and this is the carpel. Clear? So here a single carpel is present. So there are some flowers where a single carpel is present, right? If single carpel is present, then it is called monocarpellary condition. In some flower, more than one carpels are present, known as multicarpellary. Got it? So flowers with respect to the number of carpel, known as monocarpellary or polycarpellary or multicarpellary, right? Then the polycarpellary flowers having more than one carpels. So here you see this is a monocarpellary flower and these are the polycarpellary flower having more than one carpel. But in some flower the carpels are fused like this. The carpels are fused, known as a syncarpous ovary. Here you see the carpels are fused and appear as if one. And in some cases the carpels remain free like this, and this is known as apocarpus. So this is a multicarpellary, this is a monocarpellary condition. This is the polycarpellary but syncarpous condition, and this is the case of papaver, right? And this is the apocarpus and multicarpellary, and this is the case of michelia. Clear? So now you come to this one. So this carpel, if we study its structure, it consists of three parts, right? 1, 2 and 3. The anterior flattened portion, this one, the anterior flattened portion is known as stigma, right? And the middle stalk portion is known as style, and the basal swollen portion is known as ovary. So any carpel is formed of three parts: stigma, style and ovary, right? And how they are important? Stigma is the flattened surface on which the pollen grains land, right, for the process of leading to fertilization, right? So this stigma usually appears sticky in nature. Why? Because it usually consists of a nutritive fluid which is absorbed by the pollen grain for its germination and growth of pollen tube. Clear? So stigma is responsible as a platform for the landing of pollen grain and for providing nutrition for the germination and growth of pollen grain to pollen tube. Clear? Then The style is the portion which connects the stigma and the ovary. And this is also the stalk portion through which the pollen tube, right? Already I have explained you pollen tube which carries the male gamete, right? So style is the portion through which the pollen tube carrying the male gamete moves towards the ovary and reaches at the egg present inside the ovule. Clear? Then the basal portion is known as ovary, inside which a chamber is present. So that ovarian cavity consists of number of ovules, or those are known as megasporangium. This megasporangium remain attached to a wreath-like structure present inside the ovary. Again I repeat, ovary is the basal portion. Inside it a cavity is present. Inside the cavity a wreath-like structure is present known as placenta. To the placenta attached either one or many number of ovules. Clear? And if one ovule is present, then you know ovary after fertilization changes to fruit and ovule after fertilization changes to seed. So if one ovule is present inside the ovary, then the fruit becomes one-seeded. For example, mango, coconut, etc. In case the ovary contains many ovules, many number of seeds are produced. For example, papaya, watermelon, etc. Right? So this is about the structure of pistil or carpel having three different parts and the role of three different parts in the process of sexual reproduction. Clear? Then, so already I have explained pistil consists of three major parts: stigma, style and ovary, and already I have mentioned their structure and function. Then inside or internally it has ovarian cavity inside which the placenta is present, and to the placenta either single ovule is attached or many ovules are attached. Clear? Then coming to the structure of a ovule, right? Here you have already observed. See, inside the ovary the ovules are present attached to the placenta. So let us discuss the structure of a ovule, or that is known as megasporangium. Why this is important? Because already I have told you, ovule is the structure inside which the egg is present or egg is produced. Right? Ovule is the structure which bears the female gametophyte, that is the embryo sac. So remember, the male gametophyte is the pollen grain present and or produced by the anther. Female gametophyte is the embryo sac which remain inside the ovule, and ovules remain inside the ovary. And the embryo sac or the female gametophyte contains the female gamete. Let us discuss the structure. So here you see the structure, right? So this ovule, this remains attached to placenta inside the ovary by means of a stalk-like structure. Here you see, this is the stalk-like structure by which this ovule remains attached to the placenta. This is known as funicle, right? This funicle is attached to the ovule at a point known as hilum. So this is hilum. Clear? Then at certain places this point of attachment goes beyond, and that is known as or extends as a wreath-like structure and known as raphe. Clear? The ovule is surrounded by two protective layers. Here you see, this is the outer protective layer and this is the inner protective layer which covers the ovule except at a point. Right? So these two protective layers are known as integument. The outer one is known as outer integument. the inner one is known as inner integument. And the point where the protective layer is not present, that is known as micropyle. Clear? So inside this integument, a mass of tissue or a tissue is present known as nucellus. So this is the portion which contains large numbers of cells compactly arranged. So this nucellus remain present under the integuments. Inside the nucleus, inside the nucellus, the female gametophyte, or that is the embryo sac, is present. And this embryo sac is present towards the micropyle. Clear? So towards the micropyle, the embryo sac is present, and just opposite to micropyle, the portion of the ovule is known as chalaza. So this is micropylar end, this is the chalazal end. So towards micropylar end, the embryo sac is present in the nucellus. It is developed from one of the cell of the nucellus at the micropylar end. And this embryo sac consists of 3 cells towards the micropylar end, which is known as egg apparatus, together known as egg apparatus. And it consists of 2 peripheral cells known as synercid, and the centrally located cell is known as egg cell. That means it consists of 3 cells at the center, egg, and at the towards both the end, the synercid. So this egg is the female gamete. Then towards the chalazal end, it also consists of 3 cells known as antipodals. Clear? And at the center, there is a large size cell known as central cell, which consists of 2 nucleus known as polar nuclei or secondary nucleus. So this is the structure of a ovule which bears the female gametophyte. Right? So I think you well understood the structure of the megasporangium and the female gametophyte.